Main event match of the day goes 6 games, version 1, holding on, trying to force game 7, but ultimately running into a dominant SSG performance.
SSG, man, the crowd was on their side. They absolutely got electric, but I'm telling you, Lanyo's here. He's on World Championship form. He's looking like one of the best players in the game, and then Arsenal and Redo just filling in the gaps. V1, they tried to bring in a little bit of hype in moments, but it wasn't enough.
And I gotta say, you know, we talked a lot about Daniel. He deserves the talk, but I think Reynolds as well had a fantastic series here. The dual threat from them with Space Station. This was the most perfectly executed game plan I've seen from Space Station. They have locked down beast mode in that series, and version 1 could do nothing about it.
You know it's bad when Arsenal just goes to Steph Curry right to sleep. How quickly was it? And it was all of just Reynolds' confidence in the end on the face cams. You know that when this team's feeling hot, especially like Thursdays and Fridays, they're impossible to stop.
I mean, even this was, I tweeted about it, like this was the least close 6-game series I've ever seen. Like the most one-sided 6-game series. Like, even in the moments when version 1, that's the team I'm trying to say, my goodness, was in the lead, it still felt like they were on the back feet the whole time, mates.
SSG controlled the flow, they controlled the pace. V1, it took a couple special moments. Remember, beast mode off the ceiling, reset, and then off the backboard to create an easy opportunity for Calm to finish. If it takes that to score a goal, it's not looking good for you.
No, to me, my eyes were on Calm the whole time. This goal was really crazy. He does a full loop-de-loop around both the goalies to get the redirect into the corner. He was the lead goal scorer for the team, but I still felt like he was the weak link on all other areas of the pitch.
There were some shining moments there for version 1, don't get me wrong, but again, I do think you go back to the matchup there, and when you have your big breakout, you know, player like Beast Mode, when he's shut down for the back half of that series, that's the lifeblood of the offense for version 1. And again, you got to give a lot of credit over to Space Station. They did a great job of just locking down version 1. The crowd was definitely behind them as well. We heard a few version 1 chants as well, but it was all Space Station.
Well, and the big note for me, Spaceman, was just how quiet particularly version 1 was. Both sides, we kind of expected a little bit of smack talk, a little bit of energy out of it. We didn't really see any of it until we saw the Steph Curry from Arsenal there at the end. I was amazed. Like, Calm, even in the moments when he's scoring hat tricks in games they're winning, just sitting there the whole time. Seemed like something was maybe up in the head. I don't know.
Yeah, SSG kind of executed their game plan throughout, and we really saw that as the tail end of the series went on, not only with the flurry of goals from SSG really hard to deal with, but the mood seemed to be zapped out of version 1. And it really felt like this was the most non-wildcard matchup we've seen so far. It was like a standard RLCS tournament, and SSG just had all of the energy on their side.
Yeah, for sure. No, SSG definitely had version 1's number there. We'll see if they run into each other again later on in the event. But speaking of which, both sides trying to get to that main event. Here is one more match left to go before we get there at the end of the day. Optic Gaming going to be taking on Dignitas, the green wall in the house in front of fans for the first time here in Texas. I had fans coming up to me yesterday saying, yo, when can I see Optic play? And I'm like, what, how did Twitch, this is Twitch chat in person. It's here now in front of me. They are finally on the stage, Spaceman.
My 2011-year-old self is vindicated. Optic Gaming, Dignitas, you're telling me this roster coming in with the Optic buff, it looked pretty good during the Spring Major. They didn't maybe have the run they wanted, but there was a lot of improvements. I've been very impressed with Illusion and Drees. I think Drees is playing fantastic upfield. Illusion is an absolute monster on land. And in the end, Mist is about as clutch as you want.
Well, for the first time making their stage debut on twitch.tv/Rocket League for the World Championship, it's Optic Gaming.
Feels great to be here. Super excited to start competing at the World Championship. This tournament is huge for our team. We've been working all year to get here.
Oh, Drees, good infield pass to and he almost hooked that in on the top side to take the lead early.
Do you see the work here? The pass mid.
On the wild card, we're hoping for a quick 3-0, but if we can't do that, just to get through to group stage. The team is feeling really excited. It's Drees and I's first World Championship, and we're hoping to perform well. Optic is the best team because we can adapt quickly.
You're going to need a bit more of that support because they are struggling today, and they're getting clipped on Mist with a banger in 7 seconds.
A lot of teams will underestimate us, and that will help us go further in the tournament. Expect a lot of aggressive demo plays from us with a touch of great defense. People who are doubting us, you're going to be disappointed.
We've really seen this roster come together over the course of this season, but I gotta wonder, I want to ask them at some point, does it mean anything to them to be playing for a legacy name, a pillar of the esports world like Optic?
I'm sure it does. And it's crazy, too, because you have such a massive name behind him. And as they were talking about in just their interview just a minute ago, I have a lot of doubters here, and maybe for good reason, especially with you look at their online performances. But every time each individual player here has come to land throughout the season, all of them have had big moments. And there's something there with this team that I just don't think we've seen quite yet. And remember, this was a team that was knocked out by Moist and Furia in the spring major. Those were teams that were very tough to get by.
Who wasn't knocked out by Moist?
Right.
Right. It's crazy stuff. But here, the full lineup coming together in huge ways. Drees was, again, such a question mark when he first joined the roster. Now, the biggest exclamation point.
Yeah, he's question mark for various reasons. A lot of people didn't think he deserved to be on G2 way back when, but he's a year and a half since then. He's a seasoned veteran at this point. He's got plenty of experience, and he's always performed at LAN. When G2 underperformed at the fall major, Drees was not in that category. Drees performed actually admirably, and that's why a lot of people were questioning the move for a time because Drees was on. It was really Chicago and JNAPs who were coming up a little short.
And that's what you can say about Illusion as well.
Well, on the other side of things, a very, very young table across the board for this matchup. It's Dignitas.
The feeling's pretty good. We've had a lot of like ups and downs, but you just gotta forget about the past. It all comes down to now. Well, we just want to make it through the wild card. Like, obviously, making main event is a big goal. Just try and take it one series at a time. We've been grinding a lot. Like, we got a lot of hours just playing all day. We've been boot camping for like a week for the really good boot camp. Smashed it. So I think we prepared pretty well.
And Super Lucky just slides that ball.
Royce is up.
And he's off the ceiling, gets the flip, gets the shot, and puts it up for 90 and in.
Well, this is super important because everything that we've been working towards for the past 12 months leads up to this. This is everything for us.
Let's get the clips going. Scrubkilla slowing things down. Appjack looking for a double, and oh my, Dignitas on fire.
The reason teams should fear us is we're mechanical gods, 1v1 gods. Like, defense is crazy, the passing play is crazy. We're really fast, and we're dangerous. To all the fans at home watching and in the stadium, thank you so much for supporting us. You keep us going through the hard times, the good times, but we love you. Absolutely, we're here to win. We can expect the boys to do the greatest performance of our lives. Bring it on. We got this wildcard.
Bates, I love Scrubkilla's attitude always. I mean, he was talking about their boot camps. Like, yeah, came in, crushed that. All right, crushed the boot camp. Good job.
Man, Scrubkilla. The last 2 times I've seen him in the World Championship, he's made it really far. That's all we got to say. Finals appearances, MVP in Season 7, losing by 1 goal to Justin in Season 8. Dignitas, the tallest Rocket League team out of all of them. They're absolutely here to perform, but there's two key differences in this Dignitas compared to the ones that we have seen prior to this. One, Scrub's in the middle. That's a completely different seat lineup. Appjack has been in the middle the last 2 times we've seen him. And then also, they finally have a coach. Behind them, rather than just having a mental coach. Have an actual Rocket League coach and Nick, former Moist coach. We're going to see what he can do.
Well, and for the team, for people at home who are wondering, like, why does it matter who's in the middle seat, Corellia? How does that change a team's on-stage dynamic?
Yeah, a big deal. It's all about the energy, because the middle guy, or I guess the guys on the outside, can feed off that energy. The middle guy has more accessibility to his teammates to kind of hype them up, especially if they're having a bad series or a bad game.
Yeah.
And that's really what I think a lot of people look at Dignitas, and they kind of get inside their own heads. With clear heads, Dignitas is unstoppable. We just haven't seen that form yet here late in the series.
Yeah, you got the God of Joreus on the bookend, you have the IGL and Appjack on the opposite side, and then the nucleus of Scrubkilla right in the middle. That is a deadly trio, and that offense that has been simplified from our interview with Appjack a couple of weeks ago, they want to keep it on the ground and trust each other more, and they certainly have.
He's the rookie of the year for forever. I feel like any team Scrubkilla is on, he is the nucleus of that team, regardless of how the on-field dynamic feels out there. So we'll see those teams clash in just a moment. We did just receive word, though, that the Dickies Arena, the 13,000 seats we have, is sold out in entirety. We will see every one of the seats filled at some point.
May I say something? I walked into the arena earlier just to check it out. And I walked in, my goodness. I'm talking about NBA-type field. That's how big that arena is. And that Jumbotron?
I think the biggest place we've been before this was the Prudential Center in New Jersey. This is about double that size. It's going to be quite the spectacle. Let's get into some predictions, though, of Optic versus Dignitas in the Verizon fan vote. Use hashtag OG, hashtag DIG at home in chat. Spaceman, I mean, I feel...
You started with me.
Never mind.
I thought we had
No,
Bates.
Bates. We're going to start with Bates. I know where you're going.
My childhood self is torn right now.
Come on, Bates.
I'm an Optic
Come on, Bates.
gamer in my heart.
Come on, Bates.
Gave it to Rocket, gave it to esports in general. Scump getting over. But I'm wrong with Dignitas, man. They changed up the lineup. Scump in the middle. I'm going up against Costello, but the reason why is 'cause I think they changed the gameplay. They're relying less on mechanics, more on the ground play. They just go overtake OG just a little bit. 14.
You got to defend the hashtag Bates never wrong. I understand.
Listen, I feel the same way. I don't like going against Mist. He's one of my favorite players in North America, but I'm also going Dignitas. I think that they're going to pull this together. I like the switch with Scrub Killer. I think that's going to be a big deal on land. There's no doubt this team has skill.
You guys anymore.
But I think it's going to be an easy one.
We have clowns between us.
Listen, do you understand how historic this is? All right? Brick by brick, it's time to rebuild 60-50 Russell Drive. Green Wall is taking this series, baby. Optic Gaming is back. Let's get it going.
Optic Gaming.
I don't see Hex out there.
Come on.
I don't see him.
Come on.
Basement, I don't see him.
Give me Green Wall as well. Give me Optic here, folks. Let's see what... did the Green Wall
We've
show
been
up
walled
in
in,
chat?
Bates.
I know.
Did they show up in
Walled
chat,
in.
though? That's the question. No, they did not.
Green Wall's not thinking right now.
Scump, watch it. Come on now.
Here, folks. I'm excited to see this matchup here. Hey, we saw some surprises from Optic in London. They could do it again here. Which Dignitas are we going to experience here? Let's find out. Last match of the day for day 2 of our wild card event in the blue. It's going to be Optic Gaming, the Green Wall. In the orange, Dignitas, best of 7 winner, improves and advances in day 3. We'll see him. Let's go to the call in the Verizon Skybox.
NA and EU both coming into this undefeated in international matchups. But one of those O's is about to go. Dignitas taking on Optic Gaming, Johnny, in a best of 7 to see who is going to have 3 chances to qualify for the main event.
Huge. I think it's a must-win series for Dignitas, actually. I've seen Optic show up on LAN just recently in London. I loved what I saw from them. Dignitas are really still a question mark. It's been a long time since we saw them on a LAN. Since LA, decent start for them, but Mist will cut off the follow-up on the shot there from Jack. Key here for Dignitas is really going to be about that man in the middle scrub there. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, what's the from Illusion? It looked like he was going to have an easy job there. This crossbar's got them covered as well. Dignitas all over them early on. The boost is running out for Optic.
And also the boost running out for Dignitas, forced to just scramble back for now. At least a good showing there for Dignitas, knowing that they can put together those plays. Optic actually a really good call late on in that play just to leave the ball. But this is not... Apparently, Jack walked the ball past Optic.
Jack with the mind game on 2. It's actually Mist who makes the mistake there and leaves his team in a lot of trouble. He tried to catch the ball as it curves down off the back wall there. Completely missed it. But Drees and Illusion panicked in the aftermath. Jack able to mind game both of them.
This could be really interesting form through switch that we see from Dignitas, because I feel like we come into these big events, international events, and Dignitas, despite having some good results, have not shown that potential that we knew that they had coming into this season.
Yeah.
But all of that gets wiped away. We're at the World Championships. You perform here, the rest of the season goes out the window.
And another messy defensive play there from Optic. They're getting in each other's way a little bit here. Boost again running low, and Dignitas have got a lot to continue this attack with. They can just force the ball to bounce out in a volatile way, just as they've done now. That's the kind of play Dig want to do when they've got a boost advantage. Fortunately for Optic, they were able to pick up a couple of back corners and survive that onslaught. But when you've got big boost advantage like that, any kind of volatile 50-50 favors the team with boost, because you're the team who can close the distance to the ball, get back to it, and continue attacking.
Scrub Killer tasked with finding a way out of the orange side of the field. He's done exactly that. He managed to lay claim to that middle boost. Gives his team a lot of territory to work with here. Jorius, good challenge. Going to drop down. The demo, crucial. Remove apparently Jack, get a bit of breathing room. The miss, however, from Illusion, maybe not quite as wise. Go off the backboard. Jorius tasked with getting rid of it instead. Leaves it for Scrub Killer. Does actually become a passing option on the far side. Might get over to it. And Scrub's attempted demo. He's going to miss his mark. But from Dignitas, it is nice to see that the ideas are flowing. It is not paint-by-numbers offense that they sometimes get caught in. They'll be very thankful to see that that ball was not going to drop into too much of a dangerous position.
Yeah, so far so good for Dignitas. They're not completely comfortable here though. Optic's starting to knock on the door a little bit. Abjack sticking around in the middle. Kept ball cam on so he can deflect the center ball to a safe location. Nobody able to contest Mist. Jory's got the back wall covered there. Maybe Mist had a better option on the left-hand side. Dignitas have survived that brief flurry from Optic. Before then, we're not really synergizing at all. That's completely open now. Scrub going to follow up on it, but he can't get to it. Boost ran out. He didn't have the momentum, and he misses the ball.
Oh, we've all been there, and it hurts still every single time you see it happen. Scrub Killer tries to find a way past. It doesn't happen. Dream!
Wow.
I think he bumped Illusion into it. Either way, the important story is Optic have got the goal back.
Scrub tried to kill some time here, wanted a 50-50 with Illusion, but Illusion took the ball off him and then ran it into the middle. Like you mentioned, bit of a team pull shot there. Illusion definitely deserved the credit for that one. He did all the hard work, got an open net for his team. Dignitas unable to follow up on that stalled play there from Scrub Killer.
Optic are finding the bump somewhat well. There's almost missed. Guides it back over to Illusion. The ball is Scrub Killer back into the middle again, and that is an easy win. Drees smashes it from the halfway line.
What a read by Drees. Look how quickly he gets out to intercept this one. It's a 50-50 into the middle, and Drees advances to cut off the Dignitas controlled pass. I mean, Digger trying to fire that ball into the center for their third man. Optic able to read it, cut off the threat, even get a goal on the counter-attack.
You see the ball going over that way. There's always the inkling that the infield pass is possible. I do like that Drees recognized that, made sure that he was in position, and now actually does have the option to get over to Illusion. Heavy pass. Drees pass just holding on to that midfield, get his teammates back into a good spot, and miss!
Oh!
What a goal!
Dignitas forgot to pay attention to Mist, who just arcs around, comes off the sidewall, and spikes the ball downwards over the top of apparently Jack. They did not have anyone up to challenge. And if you're giving Mist a free shot from that range, you're asking for trouble.
That is the danger that you give up when you lose your back corner boost. Suddenly the cut rotation is a much more feasible option. And Mist proving exactly that. 1 minute left. Illusion realized that the play doesn't need to go in. They are the team with the 2-goal lead. As long as the play stays relatively calm, and Optic will take this first game. Drees. Scrub Killer. Can he get a second block? He's on 0 boost. Still didn't quite worry him on that play. And I'm loving this from Optic. They are slowing the play down, but they make sure the ball is up in the air as often as possible, because that means that Dignitas can only commit one at a time. And when it ends up with these mid-air races, Optic have been just a step ahead.
And it's games like this that really make you appreciate what Furia's Jan did. The last time we saw Optic play on LAN in front of a crowd, it was Furia who took down Optic in London to eliminate them from the top 8. And in that match, Furia's Jan 1v3'd Optic numerous times offensively. Joria's unable to do that today. Abjack so far, also unable to do that. Scrub, not able to get anything really going in offense. They started the stronger of the two teams, but after Optic stabilized, they really did run away with this one. 3-1, comfortable win for Optic in the opener. Now the question is, can Dignitas regain? They've really struggled to get things together when things have gone wrong in LA. The most recent LAN that they played, they were reverse swept by Space Station Gaming. They were reverse swept by Evil Geniuses. They've got to really focus up here.
This is where Scrub Killer being in the middle becomes very interesting indeed, because when that player is in the middle, they're usually the ones that are supposed to be hyping everybody else up. When Scrub has a bad game, he's still got to be mentally strong enough to say, look, I don't have a good one here, but we still all need to be able to step up to the next level.
Yeah.
In a game like this one, that is where that gets challenged.
Yeah, it's so important it's more important, I'd say, in the losses to have that hype man, to have that belief, because Dignitas have clearly lacked that all season. They've been struggling to bounce back when things go wrong. And it's this kind of moment now that they have to be telling each other, we've got this, we are good enough to beat this team, and actually show that they've finally found a way to bounce back from this kind of adversity. This is impressive form on the cheek curls here, I've got to say.
But it's full body bicep curls.
Yeah, Dignitas are going to be hoping they can bring that kind of strength into their 50-50 game. But Optic, at the moment, looking like they're at the same level as Dig mechanically. And Dig definitely favor themselves mechanically here. So Optic are hanging in there. They're matching them toe for toe. And that's a real problem. Optic, I think, have got a great system. And if they can't outmatch them in speed and mechanics and solo plays, Optic are going to be tough to beat as it comes down to team play.
Well, you did mention solo plays. to end off there, and I think that was distinctly lacking actually from Dignitas. Once they went down, they tried to go just full pace mode, and that is not something that they really were able to match Optic at all. I did see one attempt towards the end from Jorius to outplay the entire team. It didn't quite work, but it doesn't always work first time around. I'd love to see Dignitas just have a little bit of faith and belief that they can at least get the 1v2 going and get the numbers advantage. Jorius, crucial touch from him, takes it away from Illusion. But look at these cut rotations. That one doesn't quite work. I like the idea from Dries. Maybe the whole hitting the ball could do with a little bit of work in the future. Dries with a chance now. Almost 70 boost to his name. Illusion in the midfield. Even got more options further away as Illusion lays claim to it. Dignitas seem to be very aware, though, of at least one thing, which is never leave your backboard undefended against Optic. That might leave options open for Optic later on. As we see the crossbar rattled. Stay 0-0.
I don't think Optic realized just how close that was to going in until it was right on top of their goal, but luckily for them it bounced in the perfect direction into the ground and then over the bar. Scrub missed a key boost deal there. That means he's going to need to retreat. Jorius advances, has a reset to work with, but Mist knows exactly what to do. It's a goal side approach, strong 50-50 mid-air. That's going to need to be a bit quicker here. Another good 50-50 by Dries, and the follow-up is just off target. Optic again, just like game number 1, looking for that long shot to counter a Dignitas advancing.
It's belief every time from Optic. That one's off the backboard. Another bump, it's 1-on-1. And there's Mist! Finishes it off. 1-0.
What a huge 50-50 win here from Illusion. Look how he controls, apparently, Jack's challenge. As Jack is usually so good at those 1v1 50-50 plays. Illusion able to nullify everything that Jack was trying to do there, keep the ball in the danger area. Optic scoring 4 goals in a row now between games 1 and 2.
What I wanted to make earlier on, Johnny, is that Optic just believe in their defenders. They believe that, hey, you've got this, I'm going to sit in a good position off the ball so that when the ball does become loose, we get plays that we have been seeing where the clears are very easy and heck, even sometimes on target for a goal. Dignitas don't have that at the moment. They don't have somebody that is willing to just trust the other two.
Yeah, infield is just not an option right now. A ton of infield passes that Dignitas have attempted. They've not just been intercepted by Optic, but they look like passes to Optic defenders. That's just an option that Dignitas need to, I think, gravitate away from. Maybe switch to higher approach. I know that they're all very capable air dribblers of the ball. Do that or backboard. But, you know, after what Jan did to them in London, you've got to think it's solo plays. That's the angle to work with against Optic.
Just over 2 minutes left here in game number 2. Chance here, puts it behind the keeper, and Mist scoops the ball and says that we will keep ahead of our 1-goal lead.
Dignitas still piling on the pressure though. Jack testing Dries, who passes with flying colors. And again, the ball's back into the middle. This time it's Illusion who gets the clear. A double tap into the floor to defend against Jorius. Dignitas still coming forward. They're looking for that equalizer. And they've got it. Scrub Killer ties the game.
And how important is that for Dignitas? So often at this wildcard, we have seen teams lose that second game and it just falls off from there. The comebacks have become less and less frequent as Rocket League has grown. So for Dignitas, they now need to convert this from here. And that was close for Mist.
Yeah, I like the idea there, but I think I've just read a ton of what Dignitas are doing with their offensive play. Dignitas need to try less tricks and just more consistency. Just rely on their ability to get past Optic. When it comes to Optic, we haven't really seen too much of their offensive plan. It's been about counter-punching so far. Picking their opportunities quite well when Dignitas give them space to work with, but when it comes to making some of their own, we're yet to really see what their style is, what their game plan is.
It would be very interesting to see exactly how Optic would play a game that they are 2 goals down in, but that is not a position they've been forced into just yet. They'll be able to Dignitas to force those questions to get answers. For now though, 1 minute remaining. All to play for here. Mist, I think, changed the direction in the second half of that aerial, decided to go for Jorius instead, just couldn't quite reach him. This is Optic's best opportunity to try and create an opportunity of their own. Back midfield, Dries. Good challenge. It's going to come up to boost management here from both sides. It's going to be one aerial that will go unchallenged. Drop down pass for mid. Well read by apparently Jack. Gets in the way.
Evolution reading the Dignitas plan once again. Dig had a brief 2v1. They play for the immediate infield and clear. Evolution drop back to collect that. Again, another free possession play. Missed with the long-range air dribble. He goes high off the ceiling. Tries to get back to it. He's not going to do so, but neither did Dignitas. Solution into the middle for Dries, who goes backboard. A Strut kill is first to that. There was no follow-up from Optic.
Joreous leaves it down to apparently Jack. One final opportunity, maybe. There we go, missed. We'll be unhappy to see Dignitas with one player left. Overtime over at Aquadome. And an overtime Dignitas desperately needs. But for Optic, that green wall has been made of steel at times. Dries gets rid of it. Now, back into the midfield. Apparently Jack chooses to just try and follow up by himself. Another booming clear. Goes off the backboard. Unchallenged. Will scrub go the whole way. Brave from Optic, but this is the result that they were wanting.
And they do still get the ball clear, and another double connect. Missed. Read the whiff on the backboard. 2-0 Optic Gaming. Illusion with a fake aerial. Gave Mist the free play on it. What a read by Mist. Just plays the ball all the way. He knows there's a decent chance anyone in the world can miss that. And this time, Jack did not get the read. Optic Gaming are absolutely roaring into a lead.
There are plenty of arguments about what Rule 1 might end up being, but one of the big rules about the RLCS, never let Mist see the double tap. He gets it 95% of the time. And another monstrous performance by him. Optic Gaming, half the job done. And for Dignitas, it is now time to see, what did you do in that time off that you had? This is where the questions come into play. Was that time utilized wisely? And what have you got to bring this series back? It was a much better performance, I feel like, from Scrub Killer. But when you see what Optic have done, they're just so calm defensively right now.
They are. They've been reading brilliantly. I think Optic have just cut off a ton of infield passes already, and that's scared Dignitas away from that strategy. I think it's still wise for Dig to stop doing that. If every single infield pass is getting cut off, you definitely don't want to focus on that strat. You got to go for more direct shots, more backboard plays, more slow plays, whether that's an air dribble or a dribble. And even when Dignitas did switch that up, I think Optic have responded brilliantly. Anytime a Dignitas player gets up into the air to start an air dribble, someone is up and they're going straight for the ball. I think they, Optic might have learned their lesson from Furia's Yan in London. You can't give these really mechanical players any time, and you can't give them any free hit on the ball. If you just fly right over the top of it looking for a dunk, and they've just gone for a reset, you've put your teammates in a world of trouble. Optic not really doing that. They're just playing the ball, making it work, making it easy on their last man, and that's really been a theme of wildcard so far. It's a simple defense. It's helping out your goalkeeper by playing the ball with your first challenge.
But if you are going to play the way Optic have been, defensively, you have to keep a hold of that boost management, and I think that has been their main strength as we go off the backboard. I think it's unlike the overtime, not seeing that ball go in. But Optic have just been so comfortable with their own boost management. They've been able to cut rotations whenever they feel like it, and those cut rotations, no double commits, no nothing. It just looks natural. So it's led to that foundational Rocket League looking so smooth off the backboard. Scrub Killer wants to find one more. Apparently Jack actually managed to climb through the mountain of cars and give Dignitas the lead.
Phenomenal play by Scrub in this setup. Mist was trying to track him along the way there. Illusion likewise. Neither one of them able to read exactly where Scrub had planned to hit the ball. Jack was in the middle waiting for it. You see, Dignitas is just trying to wake up here, it seems. Trailing 2 games. They know they're not playing their best. Optic really brought it to them. Dignitas have to elevate. So far, so good in game 3.
This is where we might also find some answers to previous questions about how Optic might play from behind. Yes, going behind quite early in the series, but that didn't really last too long. Can they do the same thing again? Secondly, have Dignitas found some answers to keeping this offense going? Joreous goes for the backboard. He'll be unchallenged. But this playstyle right now reminds me of when Dignitas got together, when it was just wave after wave of individual plays, and the other two would just hold the midfield. They'll wait for their turn. Dignitas have reverted back to that. Has missed, almost gets done. There's the follow from Jack, and the lead is doubled up.
It's a Finally, Optic make a mistake, and it's Mist who just doesn't get the read right, tries to control the situation, but really he just walked into a pretty big wall that was Scrub Killer there. Jack getting another goal off the back of a Scrub Killer assist. Can Dignitas close it out? I mean, Optic have been counterpunching a lot, so like we mentioned, what are they going to do from behind? Love to see their plan. Because Optic have shown levels, they've shown that they can adapt in London, making that lower bracket run into top 8. It's definitely a threat to just simply go 3-0 in wildcard, like they've mentioned in their rematch interview. They're going to get one back here. Mist punches it in. Dignitas concede pretty quickly. That 2-goal, he didn't last long.
Dries just left the options open so long. And it meant that there was no response there from Dignitas. The response has been very loud there from Optic. Get the goal back nice and early. Means that you don't have to overcommit with players going forward. You can get that one extra opportunity with 3 minutes left. But a very fascinating 3 minutes remaining here. Dignitas seem to have a new look to them when they get in the lead. I'm curious as to whether or not they will rely on the individual mechanics. Just send one at a time.
Oh, look
more
at
like this.
Yeah, look at this from Optic though. They're down by 1, but they're actually sitting behind the ball in their own corner. They want Dignitas here. They want Dignitas to advance into their corner and to join them in this position. That's just leaving more space in the midfield, more space in the Dignitas end. Really just shows you the preference Optic have in this matchup and in a lot of matchups, which is to counter-attack. And now, that's coming to fruition. 2-2 from Alu.
Unreal. Look at the game knowledge from Dries. Just leave it. He knows he doesn't have the angle. Boost for it, convince Dignitas that you might, and leave it for the players that you've got behind you. Questions answered quite emphatically by Optic.
It's such an interesting thing to see. The team sitting behind the ball with a 1-goal deficit. I mean, that's just how comfortable Optic are. They know that Dignitas are going to come forward at some point. They know that Dignitas like to be an attacking team. They like to swarm. They like to steal boost away and just attack continuously. But have they got them exactly where they want them? Is it, in fact, Dignitas who need to slow things down a little bit and play a more controlled style?
And as you mentioned, Johnny, Optic are just drawing them in. Even from behind, Dignitas are getting drawn in. And as good as Optic have played, that sentence shouldn't be happening. Dignitas need to be more aware of where they are in the game, manage the clock, force Optic to make some moves, and maybe even get some goals like the ones Optic have been scoring on you. Get them on the counterpunch. That would be stuff that needs to be communicated. Now, though, the job is as such. Do not put yourself in a position where you need to reverse sweep.
Oh, yeah. It just seems so impossible, especially with how many one-sided series we've seen, and especially with how much Dignitas have struggled recently.
I think after London, I've given up on any possibility of best ever first sweeps. Here we go with Jack. Gives himself some angles, gets a good challenge as well. Dries just buys some time, but Dignitas with nobody in position to latch onto the first shot.
Wow.
This just doesn't work. You cannot pass on the floor against Optic. They always have somebody.
It's just another phenomenal read by Dries, cutting off the pass, and now getting on into the middle is just deflected wide. There's no doubt that Optic's passing always looks a lot more dangerous. They look like they're threatening realistic chances on net anytime they connect to pass in the final third, whereas Dignitas, when they pass, it's Optic who look threatening with the counter-attacks and the interceptions.
And for Dignitas, the only answer to that is one of two things: either abandon or commit harder.
Okay.
Illusion! He's now going to take control of the ball. He's actually got to pass Scrub. He might go the entire way with this. Hook shot option goes infield. There's Mist, who is unable to win the race to the ball. Hero play, though, from Illusion. They might still get something from this. Jarius will see the ball away, and thankfully so. Off the backboard one more time. Double commit as well. If Optic are going to get a chance, this could be the big one. Is somebody around? Yes, there is. It's Mist! Save! Overtime!
Optic are all over Dignitas right now. So many times, so close to a third game in a row. Dignitas have made it into overtime. Once again, Optic are straight into attack. This time, Jack's the one who missed the back ball read. Illusion gets it in. All it took was 12 seconds, and Optic have done it again.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful by Dries. Set the expectations for Dignitas and then changed it went for the flick, got it off the backboard, and Dignitas had no way. 3 games up. Dignitas just needs something, anything, because this looks stylistically like Optic have got their number and then some.
Yeah, they are just dominating right now. I mean, defensively, Optic looks so comfortable. They're not afraid of having Dignitas come right up into their corner, right up in their face. That just shows how much Optic trust in their 50-50 game, even against a team of 1v1 legends that Dignitas are. When it comes to offense, I mean, Optic are really a triple threat right now. I've got to, give a massive props to all 3 of them again, but I love what I'm seeing from Illusion. He does all the dirty work. It doesn't matter what team he's on. We saw him do this for FaZe in the Fall Major. We've seen him do it for Optic now 2 LANs in a row. He's just filling the blanks. If Mist is covering top left corner on a double tap, he's covering bottom left. It's not because he doesn't trust Mist to be able to make a touch. It's because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody misses sometimes. We do have timeout Dignitas. Well, that's expected. But what on earth are they going to do? The solo plays don't look like they're going to be good enough to completely obliterate Optic the way that Yan did in London. I think Optic have really leveled up their air dribble defense since then. And when it comes to interceptions, Dries has just been unreal.
So let's list the things that haven't worked. Solo plays don't work. Infield passes, definitely don't go there. You're probably going to get scored on. What's left? I mean, even outpacing. I would look at this and say Optic have been the quicker of the 2 teams. Heck, that might even be playing into Optic, because if you try and outpace them, it's going to draw you into their own side of the field and wait and catch you. I am happy, though, to hear about the timeout. It was quite late that we ended up hearing about that one, but I was thinking, like,
yeah,
so much going wrong here. You have to try something to try and change this.
This is the problem with Dignitas. We've seen this before. We have seen this happen.
This has been the season.
They were 2-0 up against Space Station Gaming in LA, and they just lost 1 game, and every game since then looked different. There was just a different vibe about it, a different feel in the air. They've tried putting Scrub Killer in the middle here, but it just looks like more of the same. They don't have that energy. They don't have that air of a comeback about them, and they've really struggled to find any ability to do that, even with the new coach as well. It's just more of the same for this team. So, they've tried changing a bunch of things. The problem has to be elsewhere.
So Dignitas need to put together the run of form of their careers if they're going to try and take down Optic. As for Optic, they look to start off the bragging rights for North America. Jorius, what a shot! If you're going to change this, you need a talisman to step up.
That is a huge play from Jorius. What a redirect. It's actually so difficult to get power on these. Very easy to just slightly get the touch wrong and send it either into the post or just nowhere. Jorius nails it. 15 seconds in, Dig are in front again. They've had their noses in front in 2 of the 3 games that we played so far. Getting in front has not really been an issue. It's about closing the deal.
Trees. Unable to quite outpace, but Optic, as usual, recognize those situations very quickly. I do like that Optic don't try and play to just win the ball. Sometimes they are very good at just saying, all right, we're not getting there first. I'm going to reposition my car to block instead.
Yeah.
Has worked out. This should be 2.
Oh, dear.
And put it right down the middle. Scrub Killer, aim to put it on target rather than putting it in.
Yeah, for that range, accuracy is really everything. You just stick it in the corner. Or at least one of the corners. You're either going top corner anticipating a grounded goalkeeper or bottom corner anticipating a pre-jump, but right in the middle, not really catching out anyone. Not sure if he was expecting a wild and early pre-jump from Optic. Just seen too many today. Late reset from Illusion. Abjack's there to cut it off. Really expect to see and hope to see a more defensive structure from Dignitas. They want to be dominating, they want to win games and attack, but you don't have to do that.
Well, we already know how unlikely the best of 7 reverse sweep is. For the most part, I think most Dignitas fans will be hoping for just more.
Yeah.
Something to go forward in the tournament and say, okay, that's our team still. They still can do this. And as I said over in London, get 2 games, maybe we start believing in you. For now, though, you just got to focus on it. There's Dries, top corner. The work was done. He just had to finish it.
And once again, Optic are just simply more convincing. Jorius misses the overhead clear. Illusion puts the ball right next to the goal for Dries to follow up with a tight angle double. I mean, you've got mechanical defensive play versus a mechanical offensive play. Optic, by far and away, the team who are making these plays work compared to Dignitas today. And like you mentioned, Dignitas just needs something here, even if a reverse sweep is not possible. Every game helps in Swiss. We've seen a bunch of teams getting swept so far this tournament. If they can just get one game, suddenly their win-loss differential is improved, and that helps you get easier matchups later on in the tournament, even tomorrow. Getting swept today would be a disaster, and that's where Dignitas are headed, unless they can fix things as soon as possible.
Look at the boost amount. Scrubkiller's the only one of anything. Jorius now finally joins him. Had to go all the way into the midfield just to find some sort of resource to use. Reset, Trees. Is he comfortable on the field, or is he not? Optic, confidence oozing out of every play that they go for. Redirect attempted by Jorius, same way that he got the opening goal from Dignitas. Takes his time, realizes 12 boost, and well, good news, Jorius, you're about to have a little bit more. Bad news, you have to respawn with it.
And once again, it's Lucian who drops the ball down in front of the goal, and Drees, the man to follow up. Lucian, forever the enabler, knows exactly where to touch that one, that it bounces right in front of the dig net. Dig flat, tired, not for the first time this series, just stuck in the mud, unable to rush to the clear, being dunked on from close range. It is all going wrong for them today, but it's all going right for Optic, who are about to go 4-0 again, 2 days in a row. They're going to be the top seed going into the next round of Swiss, which is huge.
And you would have looked at a series like this and said, surely not. Surely at least the game goes against them. But Dignitas have just not had anything for them. As for Optic, it is a case of the perfect strategy working perfectly at the end of the day. Minute and a half here. Dignitas not going to get anything back with a shot like that one. Jarius tries for the infield. Unfortunately, the person he was trying to pass to was still on the same side of the field as him. He's up at the follow. I do like that though from Jack, opening up the field a little bit more. Does need to get a follow-up. This has been lacking now from Dignitas. Ever since they went the goal down in this game, it has been single touches and nothing much else beyond that.
Yeah, they have struggled with their follow-ups, and Optic are showing them how it's done. I mean, every time an Optic player is putting a challenge in, there's another one following. Every time an Optic player makes a play in offense, there's another one immediately on the same page. The synergy has been just leagues above Dignitas today, in a matchup that we expected to be close and really should have been close. If Dignitas could just find any kind of form, and that has been their problem both online and on lands. It's going to look like a third scrub, just able to deflect it wide, but Dignitas are running out of time. They're going to get this into game number 5.
Jarius going to try and take the task on by himself. Up to Jack. Optic, backboard well covered. As we head into the final 30 seconds of this game. Can Dignitas just get that one goal, lead that into one game? I like the idea.
Oh no.
Missed it.
You can see it on the face cam there. It's just all gone wrong. Scrub thinking he's going to get an opportunity. No such luck. The demo connects, and Dignitas just cannot figure out a way to get past Optic. The green wall has absolutely been a solid wall today. They might add one more to their tally. Dignitas stuck at defense.
Optic just want to see this ball to the floor. Jack has a bit of time. Good block there from Trees. And it is now up Dignitas, who have got players facing the wrong way right now. Have to go coast to coast. Not one more for Trees, but for those of you at home keeping score, it's NA1, EU 0.
And unbelievably comfortable as well from Optic. They look like the real deal here. They're going to be top seed going into round 3 of the wildcard. 8-0 in games, just like Semper, but if I'm not mistaken, Optic have got the initial seed advantage over them. So Semper going to be number 2 seed in this second round. Both teams get to lose a game. The crazy thing is, we've got Carmine Corp as the 3rd seed, and then you've got Space Station Gaming as the 4th seed. They've gone 4-2 twice. So congratulations, Optic. You've set Dignitas. Up next, I believe it's Space Station Gaming. You know, that's going to correct me on that if I'm wrong. But I think that they've just given themselves the favorite of the entire thing, at least according to most of the people I've talked to in the venue.
I cannot wait for that. Tomorrow is the day that we start seeing teams qualify and say goodbye to certain other teams. Those of you that have been watching our B stream, I hope you have had a good time with all of the Rocket League that you have had a chance to consume. But for Optic, brilliant statement from them. They came in with a plan. They executed that plan phenomenally. For Dignitas, They've come into this tournament with new ideas, fresh attempts at things, but they simply did not work out. Let's hand over to our winners and to Dazarin.
No, not yet, not yet.
Not yet. You now know who's doing that.
No. Yeah, it's a bit of a spoiler there, Dazarin. I don't think he's ready yet. I'm looking up. Yeah, I don't see him. Dazarin needs to
get him on there. Get him on there.
He needs to get him.
There we are. He's waving to us. How you doing, man?
Needs to get a move on. We're eager to hear what Optic have to say, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to listen to us for just a little bit longer while Dazarin gets one of his players from.
You're gonna go from us talking how good Optic are to Optic talking about how good Optic are.
Yeah,
you're gonna hear a lot about how Optic are really good.
They look like the real deal. If it is Space Station game, I believe it is. I'll be so disappointed in myself if I'm wrong, but that's the great matchup on paper. I mean, Optic versus anyone right now, looking at how they're playing, is a good matchup on paper.
Okay, I'm gonna get it right this time. Dazarin, over to you.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm here with Nick, Miss Costello from Optic Gaming. My God, what a win! They look good. They look great, Miss. 8-0 in the Swiss so far. I mean, you guys are on top right now. How does that feel?
Feels really good. I'm proud of the team.
All right. I mean, you seem locked in. Everything seemed like, even though you had to clutch up a couple times, we talked about how you guys did in game 2. I mean, an amazing save from you. And then you go on back-to-back, like overtime performances. Do you guys actually feel like nervous on this stage?
There's obviously a little nerves, but the boys held it down and proud of the result.
That's good, that's good. Talk to me a bit about like the preparation going into this. You guys play one best-of-7 throughout the day. What's the prep look like?
Just like a couple of scrims and then talking about how a Dignitas play and then base our play style off that. And I think we did that pretty well, so.
Oh, I mean, you dominated, okay? You did more than pretty well, okay? Now, let me tell you, going into this tournament, you guys it kind of seemed like you guys were underdogs, right? There was a lot of people doing a lot of yapping about how you guys were going to perform. What do you got to say to the doubters next 2-0 in the Swiss stage?
Just enjoy the show. I mean, you'll see a lot more of us.
Enjoy the show. That's right. Enjoy the show. Optic so far. Listen, coming into the 3-0 area, you guys are either going to play SSG, Carmine, or Simper. Which matchup are you most looking forward to getting?
I want to play SSG. I mean, we never played them before, so that'll be fun probably if we get that.
All right, and finally, obviously, you have some fans in the crowd. You have fans at home. What do you want to say to the fans, man?
Just thank you, everyone. You guys are really loud, and I know my family's watching back home, so thank you guys.
Woo! I can't wait till this place fills up. You guys are amazing. Thank you, everyone at home as well. We're going to send it back to Wave so the desk can do some more yapping.
Well. You know, Spaceman, some
What about that?
are just better.
You know, it's crazy what happened last time we were here, because you know what? It smells like a green Friday to me. Missed as a peacock. Gotta let him fly sometimes, man. Look at the green wall with the sweep, baby. Come on.
Bates, what happened? Remind us what just happened.
Yeah, what's going on down there, buddy? How you feeling?
It's first off, Dignitas died. Dignitas died in LA. When they got reverse swept by SSG, they must have died. I can't recognize the same team, and also, I need to stop going against Costello. Yeah. He's too good.
We really messed up.
Simply too good,
We
man.
really messed up going against Nick. I'm not gonna lie.
Look at his face.
Oh my goodness.
He just does it all.
How many times do I gotta tell you the Optic buff is a real thing, bro? Every time on lane, I don't care what we're looking at. Stop doubting the green wall. Look at what they're doing. Look at the run they're making. This is a competent, confident team with nothing to lose, everything to gain. And Dignitas went to Digna lost. They got smoked.
What are these highlights I'm watching right now? I'm seeing Drees musting across the field. I'm watching Miss make goal line saves. This is what we expected from Optic defensively, but the main difference here between what we're seeing at the World Championship, what we got in spring, was the offense from Optic.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world when they combine the defense with the offense, and I got to give it to Mist. I ain't never going against you ever again, buddy. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
You heard Shogun talk about it. He said, don't let Optic get towards the backboard. Not only was the defense great, but when offense started to click for Optic, they trusted each other so much with Mist playing off the sidewall, and those extra challenges in 1v2 situations, Mist has shown time and time again he has that ice. It just helps the offense blossom, and Optic have the confidence right now.
I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of the green wall here. Supported them the whole way, never doubted them a single second, but I will say that there is not many situations, Bates, where I would have predicted Semper and Optic Gaming being the two teams 2-0, sitting up there at the top, the 1 and 2 seeds going into day 3.
Unless you're a fan of Greenwall, unless you're a Semper fan, that's a Charleston fanboy for reciprocity back in the day, then other
That's a very narrow Venn diagram.
you're a very specific niche of people that would pick those two teams to be 1-2 coming out of the first 2 days of Swiss. But I mean, hey, it's Rocket League, baby.
Yeah, man, anything can happen here, and anything is going to continue to happen as we progress through the event, though. But now, we got through day 2. We've got some teams at 2-0. We have some teams also at 0-2, Corelli, which means tomorrow some teams are going home.
And it's a shame because, I mean, this event is going to be so long, and we have so many new regions here as well. And I think what's great, though, is we have the Swiss system. We allow them to have at least, 3 series to play.
Yep.
And I think that's what's really great. Getting that experience is really, really important for a lot of newer teams here that are struggling. And I think that's what makes it so special as well to have a format like that.
The struggles of double elim is that you only get 2 chances. And we've heard players talk about the criticism before, saying, look, it's hard when you're coming into a 2-week event to have something like double elim. You have one bad day, all of a sudden you're in a lower bracket. This is a different chance. You have opportunities here, and there's time to work through the kinks. But there's only so much time. And for a lot of these 0-2 squads, it does come down to one final match. They could be taking an early flight home.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talked at the end of yesterday about how the teams that showed up and lost on day 1, they had time to reset. You're getting 3 days of competition, not just 3 matches, but across 3 days here. Do we feel like the teams that at the bottom, okay, I think we have 4 teams right now at 0-8. It has been a real struggle for those teams. What needs to change for the teams at the bottom right now going into day 3?
Well, the first thing needs to change is the level of competition needs to become a little bit more balanced for them, and I think it will. SSA and APAC will be matching up against each other tomorrow. So that gives these 2 newer regions an opportunity to really show their stuff and more so. I understand NAEU, Mina, Sam, a little bit more established in the Rocket League scene. So when you're going up against Titans like that, it's a little harder to just initially win, but now they're playing people that are a little newer to RLCS. It's going to be more of a competition between the 2 and might even build the confidence for either of those regions.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough when you're a new region coming in. It's like, all right, hey, have fun against version 1 and face. So it's kind of a big wake-up call. But again, I do think that, the way the format is here in this wildcard is actually great. The best of 7, and of course, every series kind of spread out. For me, I like that because I would be able to kind of prep and get into the matchup and study my opponents a bit more. So again, that's why I think it's so special here at the wildcard.
Well, we are getting close to showing you guys the schedule for day 3. All the matches need to get locked in place, and for many teams, this is going to be the difference maker between moving forward or going home.
And I'm feeling like mini gives right now because.
I don't know if you want to be like that.
No. Well, yeah, because I can't seem to predict anything right at the moment. But anyways, because Mitch said he hasn't played SSG in a while, and I believe it will be Optic Gaming against SSG off the top of my dome tomorrow. I think that's 1v4. 1v4 for the 2-0 teams, but we're going to see if that pops up.
Let's see if you're right. We have the next round of the Swiss set up here. We can show you guys the matchups that are going to be happening up there in the 2-0. We are going to have Semper taking on Space Nation.
I was wrong.
Optic taking on Carmine Core. So quite the battle here.
Green wall and blue wall going head to head. I love it, baby. Come on! It's the battle of the construction site. I love what I'm seeing.
Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Sembe going to be taking on Bravado while the Pirates take on the Gladiators. 2 of those teams going to be eliminated tomorrow.
Yeah, and those middle rounds as well. I'm looking at Dignitas 0-1.
Yeah.
That might be an interesting matchup as well. You could see Dignitas dropping down even further to 1 and 2.
And the club taking on Pioneers. We saw Pioneers. I was like, I don't know. It is Pioneers the real deal? Or was the match that we saw on day 1 just kind of the fluke, just going up against a Veloce that was asleep because of the travel situation here, Bates? They will really establish themselves well with a win over the club.
Oh, man, that's an interesting matchup, no doubt about it. But then also, you got Veloce up there, man. They're going up against V1, I believe, right? Yeah, that's
the V battle.
Battle of the Bees. And Veloce, man, it took a little while for them. They were at an unfair advantage coming in really late. So now they actually can sleep, but actually gameplay for a specific team. And their style of play against V1, a team who like to sit back and counterattack, might come back to hunt V1 tomorrow.
Yeah, but I also think if you're V1, you know that's a match you can't afford to lose. Like that, from their perspective, that is a match that they should win. And if they don't, they go 1 and 2. That's disastrous for their weekend.
But let me tell you this. CJ, if you lose against, who's that? Team Secret?
Team Secret.
I got bad eyes. CJ, you lose that, we'll be warming you up tomorrow.
He cannot escape the talk here. I agree with you that version 1, we saw Calm on the stage. in what appeared to be the lowest mental state I have witnessed him at an in-person event. Obviously, he's got a full day to reset, to get his wits back about him. But if they were to lose to Veloce tomorrow, that is a trap game if I've ever seen it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's not like you said, Bates. That's not a game that that's what you were saying, Spaceman. That's not a game that you want to lose.
Yep.
And for version 1, I think most people agree that they were the 1 or 2 team here in this format or in this wild card overall. So I agree, that's absolutely a trap game. And just speaking on Calm, yeah, he was a little quiet. And it's tough, too, when the way Reddles was playing, and of course he was yapping. I saw him in the face cam screaming over at Calm as well. So you can see some weakness coming out from version 1 in their matchup today.
Yeah, and it wasn't just scary that Daniel's playing so well so early, very confident. Arsenal doing everything right as always. But the fact that Reddles has not only gotten, I think, better as the year's gone on, but he is now, like, verbally and aggressively talking his talk, and it feels like when he gets comfortable, SSG is going to the middle.
He's also backing up with being very respectful during interviews.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I think just strengthens his situation.
It's interesting.
Yeah. There's a maturity happening in front of our eyes, folks. Between the 2-0 matches, okay, 2 of our teams are done with the wild card tomorrow. They qualify for the main event. Space Station and Semper, OG versus Carmine Corp. I'm not going to have you two on the desk for the pre-show tomorrow, so I'm actually curious. Can you give me a prediction? Which 2 teams are moving forward? Again, Space Station versus Semper. Carmine Corp versus OG.
Space Station and KC for me. I think KC's on a different level right now. They look so good. That pressure, I don't know if any team here can really withstand that. And I think Space Station, I like teams that are like Space Station. They come in with a plan, they execute that. That, to me, is a great team. And I think Space Station, they have that here in the wild
They're
card.
playing some of the most polished Rocket League right now, and I think that the Space Station are just going to have it figured out as good as they've been playing. Carmine Corp is the right answer, but I'm not going to say that. It's going to be Optic for me. So, like, I know that Carmine Corp are probably favorites to make, like, a Sunday run all the way until next week. But
sure,
Optic Gaming, man, I have to pick them every single time. I don't care who they're playing. I'm picking Optic. Don't look at me like that. Okay, come on. You know this. You know what's happening.
I'm really in this. Like, I don't.
Imagine if they do. Imagine if they do.
Like,
what
I
happens?
put the faith there, but it is Carmine Corp. You're right. The Carmine Corp is looking insane.
I will say the green wall versus the blue wall tomorrow. Mist is the best player in the field. So, I mean,
man. Okay. Well, folks, we will let you know what matches are happening on which stream a little bit later. Make sure you're checking all of the RLE Sports social medias for when that goes live to find out which matches are happening on which of the 2 broadcasts. But for me, for everyone in the back, thank you guys so much for watching. Any final thoughts we have here, guys? Any hot takes before we close out day 2?
It's only going to get better.
That's not very hot.
Only second. I'm ignoring your question. It's only going to get better. Come on.
It's going to get better, though. Hey, I appreciate you trying to give me one there. For everyone in the back, for everyone here on the desk, and for the teams, thank you guys so much for watching day 2. Day 3 starts tomorrow hot. You won't want to miss it.